playoffs? What? We're talking about Tex, we're talking about playoffs? Playoffs? We're just trying to win a game. Actually, we're trying to win 3 games in a row. But I'm going to tell you how the New Orleans Saints can make the playoffs. I promise you one thing. It's actually a lot more, not likely, it's a lot easier than you might think. The Saints are not out. For the record, they are far from out right now. With a little bit of help, they can get a lot further. They do control their own destiny to a certain extent. So we're going to delve through the scenarios. We're going to go through how they make the playoffs, what needs to happen, and everything in between. So be sure to hang out for a minute, or for a little bit, for a minute, however long you want. Just hang out for the whole video. But really quick, I need you to name that squad for me. Who's a sleeper playoff team? Broncos? Maybe the Cardinals? The Saints? Like, I don't know, man. Name a sleeper playoff team for me in the comment section. And you have a few seconds to do that because I got to tell you really fast about Public Rec. And while you're getting in the comment section, while you're sharing your thoughts, I know you're thinking, dang, Trace, you look good in that shirt. Well, I can tell you, I feel a whole lot better. Thanks to Public Rec. If you guys want to get started with some comfortable clothes that look good and feel even better, you got to check out Public Rec. The holidays are right around the corner. And fellas, I know you're in the market for something that looks great and fits even better because that's what I'm in my current situation. I'm trying to upgrade my wardrobe. I'm trying to look a little bit more mature. But hey, I also don't want to be wearing belts and, having tight pants, squeeze on the family jewels. That's why I rock Public Rec almost every single day, at least when my washer is working. So Public Rec is what I'm going to be rocking at my family holiday festivities, and you should as well. Not only do they have the most comfortable pants ever made, but they have a huge selection of high-quality everyday basics. You can revamp their entire wardrobe with their perfect-fitting polos and shorts. Stop suffering in regular pants and give the gift of comfort this holiday season. For a limited time, our listeners get 20% off when you use code CHAT20 at checkout. That's 20% off with code CHAT20 at publicrec.com. After you purchase your products, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and then tell them that we sent you. Saints Now by Chat Sports. Say goodbye to pants that put up a fight because when comfort meets style, you have found Public Rec. So the NFC South currently is standing like this. The Falcons are on a 2-game losing streak. They are sitting at 6-5, still atop the division. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are number 2 in the NFC South. The Panthers down to number 4. Saints bumped up to number 3. So there you go. That's where we're sitting right now. And I'll tell you right now, the easiest path for the New Orleans Saints to make the playoffs, it's just winning out. It's just winning out. Don't lose another game, you're sitting pretty. You'll be sitting at 10-7, which historically gets you into the playoffs. And on top of that, if you're 10-7, you have a really good chance at winning the NFC South. And I have this interesting graph that I wanted to show you here. So if you guys can kind of read this really quick, like right here, so from this yellow one to this blue one to this purple one, these are the numbers I'm focusing on the most. The blue number right here, I got to make sure I got it. Number right here. If the New Orleans Saints go 9-8, and this is not just the Saints, this is just if an NFL team goes 9-8, you have about a 50% chance to make the playoffs. However, you can see it right here. When you get to 10-7, you have a 91% chance of making the playoffs. Get to 10-7, pretty good chance. 10 wins feels like the money number. So you just got to race to 10. You just got to get there. And I think that the New Orleans Saints do have an opportunity to do that. But let's look at the updated playoff picture in the NFC. The Lions, undisputed the top team in the NFC. I'll also sit here and say this. I think that they might be the best team in the NFL. They are so good. Dan Campbell has done some phenomenal things in the Motor City. But sitting in the wild card, you have the Vikings, the Packers, and the Commanders. And 2 of those teams you play in your upcoming schedule. The other teams still in the hunt, the Rams, the Seahawks, the 49ers, Tampa Bay, and Chicago. They're technically ahead of you because they have a better win percentage right now. So, yeah, but again, a reminder, these wild card teams you see right here, the Packers, the Commanders, and then, in the others category, the Rams. Guess what? You play all 3 of those teams in your upcoming schedule. The remaining games for the black and gold. Week 13, you have against the Los Angeles Rams. They come to the Superdome. I will say this, they're on their bye this week, so nothing too crazy should change. Week 14, you travel to take on Tommy DeVito and the New York Football Giants. That feels like a win. The Commanders, that's going to be a tough one. Jane Daniels coming back to Louisiana for the first time since being drafted. I think the Superdome's going to be rocking. Marshawn Lattimore has not played a snap yet for Washington. However, that could be a game that he returns for. I think the biggest challenges, in my personal opinion, are going to be Week 15 versus Washington and Week 16 at Green Bay on Monday Night Football. Playing in Lambeau in the winter, right before Christmas, at night is not going to be easy. But the Raiders, that should be a win. That team sucks. And then Week 18, typo on my part, Week 18 has the Buccaneers, has the Saints traveling to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to take on them. So you just win out these games, a lot of things get made easier, and we're going to have a lot of fun. And I just will say, quick reminder, we're going to be live for every single one of those matchups. So be sure to subscribe for free coverage around the New Orleans Saints, not just on game day, but all throughout the week as well. And don't forget to hit the noti bell. If you want to stay informed and you don't want to miss a thing, it's an easy way to make sure you know what's happening around the team. All right, so NFL.com right now at the moment of filming this, which is Wednesday, November 20th at 5:25 p.m. It's a part of our weekly live show on Wednesday afternoons. Another reason to subscribe. The NFL.com website currently has the New Orleans Saints with a 5% chance to make the postseason. Now, the big question, it's not can the Saints win out. It's will the Falcons be the Falcons? Because in my personal opinion, the Atlanta Falcons are always going to Atlanta Falcon. That's just how they are. They cannot do something right. Even when they have a massive lead in the NFC South, they're starting to collapse. The crash out is absolutely crazy right now. Atlanta, this season, they currently lead the NFC South across the rankings. We saw that a few minutes ago. But, like I mentioned, they're also on a 2-game losing streak. So that has really opened things up. And I'll tell you what, this week they're on a bye. And then they have to take on the Chargers. Not an easy team to beat. And then you have to travel to Minnesota, who is a really talented team. I think, pound for pound, the Vikings roster and their Vikings team is better than the Atlanta Falcons. And then you have to travel to Vegas. That's a win. And then you take on the Giants. That's a win. And then you and then the Falcons travel to Washington. Could be a tough one. And then you have to take on the Carolina Panthers at home if you're the Atlanta Falcons. And they have not won the division since 2016. So in order for the New Orleans Saints to extend this streak a little bit longer, here's what you got to do. The Saints must win out, and the Falcons have to lose 3 games. That's it. If the Falcons lose to the Commanders, they lose to the Chargers, and they lose to the Vikings, you're sitting real pretty if you keep winning football games. That's all it takes. It's the easiest path. Win out. You control your destiny if you win out. If you lose, you need some help. You need other teams to lose. You need other teams to win. You need upsets to happen. But right now, all we need is for the Falcons to be the Falcons. All we have to do, I'm going to be honest, just get out of the way. Let them proceed to be the Atlanta Falcons because we all know that they are not a well-run organization. They are not a good football team. At the end of the day, they ain't ever going to get it done. So if you like this clown show and if you want to see the Atlanta Falcons continue to collapse, hit that thumbs up icon and like today's video right now. I think that the Falcons, they do have a talented roster. They're a much improved team. However, their defense stinks. They have no pass rush. And to be totally honest, I'm just not that high on how they are run. I think they have a good roster. I just don't think that they have a good organization. I don't think they're managed or run well. So if you agree with me, like the video. Let's sum things up here. Let's just kind of make this easy. Path to the playoffs. To win the NFC South, the Saints must win out, and the Falcons lose 3 games. Now, if you want to win that wild card spot, you're not out of the wild card race, believe it or not. If you win if you win out and the Falcons lose 2 games instead of 3, you can still win the 7th seed in the wild card. Because if you win out, it eliminates the Buccaneers. That is your last game of the season. If you beat them, you're past them. It doesn't matter what the rankings say right now. It doesn't matter what the NFC South standings say in 2 weeks. If you beat the Buccaneers, you climb atop them if you win out. That's how it works. I ran the simulation on ESPN. I ran a bunch of simulations. I literally gave myself almost a brain aneurysm trying to make sure I had this information correct. And this is the best that I could do. You win out, the Falcons lose 3, you win the NFC South. You win out, the Falcons lose 2, you get a wild card spot. I think those are the 2 easiest paths. Those are the 2 most controllable paths. At the end of the day, I think that's what the Saints got to do. So if you guys enjoyed today's content, if you made it to this point in the video, just really quick, help a brother out. Hit that sub button. If you're watching on TV, I'll tell you what. I just caught that. For the record, Derek Carr could never throw a pass that good that I just threw to myself and caught it. Whatever. Anyway, if you want, take your Roku remote. If you're watching on TV, click this up button, and you'll be able to scroll up. And then you know how you can like fast forward and stuff? Actually click it up one more time. And then you'll be able to scrub over to like where the thumbs up icon is, where the subscribe button is, and you'll actually be able to subscribe there. So if you're watching on TV, don't think you can't participate. I'm calling you out. Be sure to hit the sub button. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.